Welcome to another epic video here at Taraji Eco Farm. Today's video is titled Regeneration Paradise for one reason and one reason only. And I'm sure you've had this question in your mind as you're watching our videos. How are you able to harvest as much as we do and have such healthy poultry without using any chemical fertilizers or insecticide on this farm? So today I'm here to answer this question and in detail, in very good detail. So I'm going to take you through how we are able to do this, how we are able to regenerate our farm properly, how the animals and the farm are codependent on each other, how we use different aspects of the farm or products to actually enrich our soil and able to grow and harvest such plentiful of things. So this is going to be an action-packed video, and we're going to show you both the theory and the practical. Stay with us. Now, the first way that we get our manure is our compost pit, which is right behind me. You can see it's the chicken's favorite place where they eat, and it's also a place where we generate our own manure for the farm. So the first source of this farm is our kitchen waste, which you can see from here. This is just kitchen waste, normal. This is leftover lettuce, carrots, watermelon peelings, all this kind of vegetable waste. This is what you put on the compost pit. Yeah, so we throw it here, and the chicken will rush to it. They'll start eating, and then as they eat, they help aerate this place because they dig up and aerate this compost pit and turn it around. They also leave their droppings there, which also enriches the compost. Actually, this is a chicken's favorite place to come and feed. Now, the next source of again, I don't know what to call it, fertilizer or manure for the farm is eggshells. As you know, we harvest a lot of eggs and we consume a lot of eggs at the house. We keep the shells, and you can see here. These shells are very rich in calcium. I don't know, it's called calcium phosphate, but they're very rich in calcium. So we crush these ones and then put them next to the plants, especially the plants in sacks and in the vertical garden. I'm going to show you how we do that. So for the eggshells, what you do is we put them in a paper like this and crush them into very small particles. We don't like putting whole ones inside there. It takes a long time to decompose. So it's so easy to crush. Sorry. It's so easy to crush them into very small particles so that you can put it. I will just show you how they look now. So you see, they are quite small now, except these ones. So the eggshells, we mainly use them for the vertical garden. You can see here, we have onions, we have leeks, we have other vegetables that I don't know. We have sweet potatoes there. So we usually use them here. And for the fruit trees that are actually in sacks. Let me show you that. This is a kiwi fruit tree or plant. You can see here. It's the one that I usually give the calcium mostly. So you can just spray a bit of them there, and they're going to decompose by themselves. Here we have a grapefruit, a grape tree, not grapefruit, a grape tree. I don't know how you can see it, but if you look here, you can see a better one. This is the grape plant. It's going up now. It's actually doing very well. So let me just do a bit of weeding here. So we put these ones here. So instead of wasting or throwing away your eggshells, you can see they're very important and they would serve you well on your farm. So you can see we have now done with the kitchen waste. We brought it out, put in the compost pit. We've also put the eggshells directly onto the plants. That is very enriches the soil. The soil here is very good. I'm actually going to explain the difference. I'll show you the difference between the soil we found here and the soil that we've been able to build over time, over the last, I think, around 2 years. Big difference. Our soil seems alive. It has worms inside. It looks healthy. It is moist. But the soil that we found here, it used to be very dry. It was very hard to plant anything. So you can see the simple things like your eggshells from your kitchen waste can actually help you improve your farm. Now we're going to the other thing that we on the farm, which is we have the chicken droppings, a lot of them. We have the rabbit droppings. We have the rabbit urine. So that's the next part. We are going to show you how we collect it and also how we mix it, especially the rabbit urine, and how we use it on the farm. Now the next part is the chicken droppings, and you can see the space between the house and the iron sheet below. The droppings drop there and they are collected there, and then they have to be swept every 1 or 2 days so that the place remains clean. But this is very good manure for the farm, so we just sweep it, we collect it, and put it somewhere where we can use it after a few months when it's not when it's dry enough. The chicken droppings, we have to sweep this place every day or every other day, and it's a lot. So we need a long brush that goes inside. This one is broken for today, but usually it's a long brush we use, and we have to pull all this out. I want to show something that is important too. You can see it's very dry. This shouldn't be wet. If it's wet, it's easy to bring diseases to the chicken inside here. So you can see this is very dry, and it's harmless to the chicken. You can see it's very dry. So we collect this, and it's a lot. The number of chicken we have, if you come every 2 days, you're probably going to feel something like this, which is about what? This is big. So you sip like that. All goes inside here. You can see how clean the place is left. Yeah, I was just showing this one, but this is done. It takes like 2 hours to do this, just to clean the whole house after 2 days. But you can see the chicken droppings are very dry. We don't like them getting wet because they start getting worms inside. But they're very dry, and we store them like this for maybe 2 or 3 months because we don't use them straight away. We don't take them to farm straight away. We store them for a while first. So now I'm trying I've taken some chicken compost. I'm going to show you that. I'm also going to dig some compost manure from here that you're going to use to plant. Today we're going to plant some arrowroots and some cassava on the farm. Again, I want to show you the soil from the compost. It's very alive. You can see the carbon matter inside here. That is decomposed. You can see all this matter, and you can see it's not dry, it's wet. This is very good soil for growing crops. So this is what I'm going to dig and use it. This compost, we turn it every few days. So whatever is below is usually ready. That's why I'm digging under, as you can see. You also have to be careful not to take compost that is not that is not broken down properly, because that, again, like for vegetables, it actually burns some of the vegetables. So you have to make sure you take compost that is really ready to use on the farm, that has really decomposed and become almost like soil. So I'm carrying the chicken compost and also the other compost onto the farm now. So the other thing is why we call this a regenerative paradise is we do minimal digging at all. We don't dig unless we really have to. We have these beds here that we use to grow things, and the bed is actually on top of the soil, the ground soil. And I want to show you the difference also between the soil inside here and the soil outside. Here we have planted beans. It's beans that are planted here. I'm going to try and not disturb them, but I really feel I need to show you how good soil looks like. Again, I've shown several times. You can see this soil. It's very nice. See, there's carbon inside. There's natural matter inside. Sometimes there's worms inside here. It's very alive. Very good for growing your crops. And that's the reason why I don't, because if we keep digging down, we are going to disturb the other soil. So we'd rather create these raised beds where you can plant our things properly and not disturb the other part of the farm. Let me show you the difference between, I want to show you some soil. I don't know whether you can tell from the picture, but the soil here, we've not added any compost to it. So when it's now in the morning, but when when the sun is very hot, it's so dry. Or if it doesn't rain for a few days, this soil is so dry, it does not retain any water. The other soil that I just showed you is able to retain water for several days. You don't need to water it every day. So we use rain-fed agriculture at that point. But this one is very dry. And I think it's continuous use of fertilizer. The people here, for the last few years, used to use the commercial fertilizer, the DAP and the others. Every time in the soil, they plant maize and beans. And so, over time, the soil got degraded. You cannot grow anything now naturally. If you grow directly on this soil, it's the crops that come out are very unhealthy. So that's why we opted to do this one and also do regenerative agriculture, so that in time to come, we'll have destroyed the fertility of this whole farm. Of the regenerative work we do here is that one, adding compost and manure into the soil to make it alive, to give it fertility. We also do a crop rotation. Like now, if we had, I think here we had onions and sweet potatoes, we remove them. Now we put beans. Beans are legumes, so they're going to help the soil regain nitrogen again as they are growing here. And then after that, you're going to plant something else. I also want to show you another aspect that you can use to properly use your farm, using cover crops. Over here on the farm, the cover crops we mainly use are sweet potatoes. I'm going to show you that, and also the pumpkins. You can see this pumpkin here has covered all this area around here, around the sugarcane, and even on that upper part. And where the pumpkin is, there are actually no weeds there, and the soil is very much alive. The soil does not lose a lot of moisture during the day, and you can actually come close and see that the pumpkins are growing very well. This is one of them. This is coming up, growing very well. There, imagine this one, there's no fertilizer at all, and there's so many pumpkin fruits over here. I don't know, vegetables. And you can imagine there's no fertilizer here at all. Look how healthy the pumpkin is. This is just one. It started from there, goes all the way up to there, and then it's gone up there. The other important thing, maybe it's not part of it, but I need to mention, is when your pumpkin gives a fruit like this, do not let the vine keep on going, because it's going to put so many fruits, and this one will not gain as much weight as you want. So what you do is, like this one, once it's flowered and there's a vegetable there, you can see the pumpkin, you can cut the other vine so it doesn't keep growing and wasting energy and nutrients. So all the nutrients that come go into the pumpkin now. So it's going to grow big faster, and actually it's going to be very big. Also, sweet potatoes are very good cover crops and help conserve the moisture here and also the nutrients, because the sun here gets very hot. So you can actually use these ones. You can see this is all sweet potato. It goes around and actually spreads over a whole area. So it's a very good cover crop. However, again, if you want to get big size sweet potatoes, you don't let it grow that far. If, let's say, the plant is coming from here, you don't let it go very long, because then it uses its energy to just grow instead of the sweet potato itself growing big. So you always have to see and cut the same way you do for the pumpkin. You cut so that most of the energy goes to growing the sweet potato. But yeah, sweet potato vines are very good cover crop. So you said you are going to plant cassava and arrowroots. Very good starch for breakfast over here in Africa, and sometimes even cassava is eaten as a snack. Remember, we have not harvested cassava on the farm at all. Just planted this a couple of months ago, and I'm not sure they are ready. But I want to plant some more, so that when we harvest these ones, we'll have others on the farm waiting to be harvested. So what we do here is we take, these are typical typical cassava stem. So we just cut into small, like those ones. That should be enough. These are the ones I'm going to plant on the lower part with the arrow roots. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to till this place. I'm not going to dig it. I'm just going to clear the weeds and make space to dig holes to plant the arrowroots. So remember, we do, as I told you, we do minimum tillage. The reason I'm planting these ones on the ground is that we've discovered planting in sacks, when there's no rain, the soil in the sacks does not hold as much water as this soil here. So I'm just going to dig holes. And if you look closely, you can see the soil here retains water very well, which is very good for arrowroots. And also, you see, we've been harvesting arrowroots for the last, I think, 2 weeks now. We didn't know they're going to do so well here, but they did. So we're excited. We thought we'll add some more, just to be more self-sufficient with arrowroots. It's time for compost now. I'm going to mix both the compost pit and a bit of the chicken manure. Also remember that the chicken compost, you don't put it fresh from the chicken house. This one will let it sit for several months, 3 months or so, before using it. I think that has to do with the pathogens inside. You have to let them die first before you, so that you don't come and again infect your soil with pathogens. Now I've put the compost. Next thing is to get the arrowroot to plant. So I think I explained that how we tell that an arrowroot is ready is that once it starts giving, I don't know which one to use, but others start growing beside it that come from it as the parent. So when you identify these ones, we can actually harvest the arrowroot. And then these are the ones that we use to plant in the new holes. We can have that's the first one. I'm just going to place it here as I gather the rest. So there's one growing here. I'm just going to remove these ones. I give space so that there's no competition for nutrients around here. There's one there. And see here, there are two growing close together. I'm going to remove one. Sometime too, when you harvest, you see like this one we harvested, and we didn't know that you're supposed to plant it again. So we left it on top, but you see it started growing roots. So this is another very good one to plant instead of plucking the young ones. This one, just put it back inside, give it some soil. I have to look for several more. Maybe you also have having a question, why aren't you weeding this place so it stays very clean? One, the weeds also help. There's some moisture over here. The sun here is very hot during the day. And two, the weeds here are the same ones we feed to the rabbits. So these also, the weeds here are not, they're not just like thrown away or cut. We collect them and feed them to the rabbits. Very good food for the rabbits. Put that one there. The other thing to notice, I think once you plant arrowroots, you will always have arrowroots because they are giving, let me just use giving birth for lack of a better word. They are always giving birth to new ones when they are ready. So you'll never lack arrowroots. Let's get a few more, then we plant them. And then you go to the cassava. Should be enough for now. So we just bring them. Maybe you can focus here. When you plant, I like to leave some, is it a depression here? So that water collects here when it rains. Rather than making a mound, I'd rather leave like a depression where water can collect. That should be enough for now. Next is the cassava. Planting cassava is easy. I don't know whether I'm doing correctly, but for me, this is what someone told me how to plant it. So just dig a small hole. And just put because the new plant will come out of this, I don't know what they're called. I don't know, they used to call nodes or something. This is where it will come from. So we just put it in like this. And that's it. So I'm going to plant several. So there can be a boundary between this part of the garden and the arrowroot. So I'm going to do a line over here. That thing I want to show you, I'm not sure whether, we don't know the English name for this weed. What do you call it here? In Kisii, what do you call it? In Kisii, we call it omondere. It's the favorite food for rabbits over here. And actually, if they get this for, I think for months, they gain a lot of weight. So that's why you see it's all over the garden. It's what you use to feed our rabbits. You can get a clear picture of it. If you know the name in English, please let us know. It's called omondere in Kisii. Here we go. So we've done the arrowroot, we've done the cassava, and you can see how the farm is very much interconnected because the rabbits give us droppings and urine. And even some leftover of this, the weed that I've told you, it's taken to the compost. Once that matures or decomposes, it's used to feed the farm so the crops can grow. Now the farm gives it weeds, the rabbits eat the weeds. The same weed I've shown you, the chicken love it very much. So sometimes you get it, cut it up and give it to the chicken. So it's very interconnected. This farm is not overexploited. We don't dig. We don't really dig as much. We prefer raised beds, as you can see all over here. Prefer raised beds so that you don't interfere with the soil a lot. And I know we use a lot of manure and organic stuff to give life back to the soil. Because we discover that over time, the last 20, 30 years, people started using commercial fertilizer, and it affected soil a lot. Even now in this area, from an acre of land, people plant maize, spend money, they use DAP and I think CAN, and at the end of the harvest, they'll get only one sack or 1.5 sacks, which in other places they get about 15 sacks per acre. So there's a big issue over that, about that in this area, and we hope that by us doing this, people are going to learn from us that we go back to the old days where our grandfather used to use cow manure, goat manure, chicken manure, and they used to grow food, and they actually used to harvest a lot. So we hope that we are an example to others, and people are going to learn from us. And actually, some people have started learning from us, and they are doing this. They are using now a lot of organic manure instead of the commercial ones. So the waste from rabbits comes in 3 forms. Let me say, we have the rabbit droppings that I can show you. These are how they look. They're like small pebbles. These are how they look. They're quite dry actually. So these are the rabbit droppings. We need to get these ones and store them for a while so they break down before putting them on the farm. But we have this vegetation here. So rabbits do not consume everything. They just consume the leafy parts, especially the leaves and the very soft stems. These ones are left, so you have to collect these ones and put them in the compost, and they also break down after a while and become part of the soil. And they actually enrich the soil very much because these are just weeds from the gardens, from the farms. And once they break down, they add carbon onto the soil. So you can see this is the vegetation, the remains from the rabbit food, what they eat, and they leave the leftovers. And on the side, that will be the rabbit droppings, usually round in shape and quite dry. So all this will go to the compost pit, and after a while they're going to break down and become soil, part of the soil, and actually enrichen the soil. I'll show you at some point how rich the soil here is. Yeah. Remember, we've done a couple of things. We've used chicken manure, we've used eggshells, we've used our compost on the farm, and the soil is being regenerated. So sometime, I think the last part that I made now is to show you the rabbit urine, which is very good. It's a very good foliar fertilizer, and I think I've explained that somewhere, that when you want to use it as a foliar, when we as a farm here want to use it as a foliar fertilizer, we mix 1 liter of rabbit urine to 5 liters of water. When you want to use it as an insecticide, we use 1 liter of rabbit urine to 2 liters of water. So now I want to use it as an insecticide for aphids at the vegetables down there. So I'm just going to take a little bit because we've done this, so I know the measurements. But the ones I've given you is 1 to 2 insecticide, 1 to 5 foliar fertilizer. So I want to go to mix a bit here. I'm going to spray it just to. So you're going to use it as a insecticide. And rabbit urine has a very pungent smell. So if we are not used to this, it's good to be ready. It has a very pungent smell, but that's the ammonia in it, which is good for the farm. And if you get it out and it doesn't smell like that, then that's not strong enough. It's not good for the farm. That's because probably you collected with a transparent container, and the sun got to it. So it degrades when it's exposed to the sun. So I know my measurements here because I use this quite often. So I'm just going to put half of this rabbit urine and then half water, and that will be sprayed as insecticide. It's a very pungent smell. If you're new to this, you'll struggle a little bit. But when you see it's magic on the farm, then I don't think you'll be worried as much. That should be it. So I'm going to put some water. So today I'm going to use it on citrus fruit trees. I'm saying citrus because I don't know whether they're oranges or they're lemons or they're pixies. But you can see there's a bit of aphids on it and ants. Just a moment. And when you're using it, let's say on vegetables, for us here we take when you spray it on the vegetables, it will take 3 or 4 days before harvesting those vegetables, so that the strength of the ammonia wears off fast. So you're not going to maybe spray today and harvest the vegetables today. We don't do that. And yeah, maybe I failed to mention that for those new farmers, when you say foliar fertilizer, we mean you're going to, it is sprayed on the plant itself. It doesn't go on the ground. It goes on the plant itself, and it's usually in liquid form. And you spray in plenty. I'll also spray on the pomegranate. And thank you for those who commented on our comment section and let us know that this is a pomegranate plant. We used to confuse with the plum one, the plum tree. We have 3 of these pomegranate plants on the farm. It's going to spray second last one. Maybe the other question I would like to know, if somebody has planted this pomegranate on their farm, there seems to be a difference in color between the one I've just shown you and this one. You can see this is more light green. The other one has a bit of a dark green color. Would it be a different variety, or it's the type of soil that we are growing it over here? I don't understand why. Please, if you know these things, educate us on the comment section. We'll appreciate your comments. This one is a totally different color from that one. And there's one, I'm going to show you the last one that I'm going to spray, which is behind us. This one, it's a same color like that one, but different from the dark green one. Will it be a different variety of pomegranate fruits, or it's the kind of soil where they are planted? So that's it. So rabbit urine, very good insecticide, very good foliar fertilizer. It's an important to have it on the farm if you're planning to go organic or do regenerative farming. It's a very good good thing to have on the farm. Today we have a bit of extra for you because we are doing this video and it's egg collection day. So we are going to collect eggs with you. From the questions I've been receiving on the YouTube channel, maybe I can answer maybe 1 or 2 things. We usually give our hens eggs that are 2 weeks old to lay on, fresh eggs, 2 weeks old, not more than 2 weeks old. That's advisable. You don't give eggs that are longer than maybe 2 weeks for better chances of getting the eggs hatched into chicks. So now I can go in. And chicken are very interesting. Up there we have laying boxes, but some of them lay there, some don't lay there. So you can see the extent to which I go to get eggs. So the eggs are here. This is the second day. Now we are not, we have usually control the number of chicks that we hatch on the farm. So already now we have chicken that are laying on about 60 eggs. So the eggs I'm collecting now are just for consumption. You're not going to give them to any. So we continue with egg collection. There's just one inside here. Let me just check. So we've collected some eggs. You can see we have 5 chicken laying on their eggs. And the thing is, we control how many chicks we have on the farm so that we can manage at any time. So this time we want to get about 40 chicks, maybe 10 guinea fowls and 40 chicken chicks. We don't want to get a large number. If you get a large number, it becomes difficult and the chicken becomes stressed. So yeah, so these eggs that I'm collecting, these ones are just for consumption, for our own consumption. Force them not to. The eggs. These are 2 days of eggs. There's one there. Yeah, so these are the eggs we collected. Just an extra for you for this video, because I had to collect eggs during this time. Maybe about 50 eggs. Those are 2 days eggs. So that's the video for today. You can see our regenerative paradise, how it is. We harvest in plenty. We have so many eggs. We have healthy poultry, but zero fertilizer, zero chemical fertilizers, zero insecticides on the farm. And it's possible for you to do this. You just need to get a balance of everything on the farm. Keep the right population of poultry. Rabbits are very good because now we no longer eat rabbits. We keep them as pets, but they give us the rabbit urine, also give us fertilizer, and we feed them. So yeah, it's very possible to do this. We eat very good food, as you can see on the farm. Zero chemicals in it, zero insecticide from the shop, but our plants and our poultry are very healthy. The other thing is our soil has started to be nice again. You hold the soil, it's moist, there's worms in it, the chicken are able to eat the worms. It is very nutritious to grow maybe the lettuce and other vegetables. So it's possible to do this without putting any chemicals into the soil. And the good thing with this kind of farming is that your soil remains healthy for longer period of time, and you can grow a lot of things. Personally, we don't like the chemical part of it, adding these things to the soil. That was our vow when we started this farm. We said you're not going to use any chemical fertilizers. You're going to avoid any insecticide. You're just going to be organic and as regenerative as possible. And it's paying fruits this end. So I hope today's video has been educative to you. If you have any questions, please go to the comment section. We shall take time to answer all questions that are asked as soon as possible, as soon as we can. And also, you can please share the video with your friends, like, and also subscribe. We appreciate you as a subscriber. Thank you. Good day.